We're going to play in the clay on Williams Grove Speedway. The green flag is out. Snyder around the cushion, on the binders in traffic. Here comes the concrete kid. Snyder in traffic on lap number 9. And Macri is right back to it, racing for control. Down in 1 and 2. Heavy traffic in front of the leader. Macri goes in low. He'll try to drive up across the racetrack. And he does. Anthony Macri takes the lead on lap number 16. Macri drives across the bottom, down in 3 and 4, and takes the lead. And he is upside down in turn number 4. Get to see Macri go into the corner. Yeah, the car just tripped over the right front on the cushion as he come up on a Mantia. Safety crews taking their time, getting Anthony Macri out of the top of his race car. They took the wing off. Final time around for the Michael Hefner 27H. It'll be the biggest win of Steve Snyder's young sprint car career. He is a quarter lap from picking up the checkered flag at Williams Grove. Steve Snyder Jr. takes the win. Yes, so far for Chase Gutshall as he enters the rear of the field. 5 laps to go. There'll be 4 to go when he gets to the start-finish line. Red flag is out. Red is out. Chase Gutshall takes off. Derek Locke tries to go to the outside of Brett Warner, but Warner keeps the line. Now Locke tries the inside deep in turn number 3. Can't make the pass. Down low, Cody Fletcher locked on the inside. Drives alongside Hammaker. Racing for the 4th spot. Hammaker and Eldrith to the outside. Fletcher drives up across the racetrack. He's up to 4th. Off turn number 4, the checkers flag is out for the 1A of Chase Gutshall.
Thunder and lightning here at Lincoln Speedway. The green flag is out, and here we go. Jude Siegel will take the pack down the backstretch. J.J. Lawson at 39 looks to the inside. Preston Latimus a close 3rd as they haul it off turn number 2. And we've got a new race leader. J.J. Loss with an inside pass off turn number 2 is your new race leader. Close down there in turn number 4 with J.J. Loss holding on to that front spot. Latimus trying to stick with him after bobbling a little bit down there in turn number 4. And we got trouble down here in turns 1 and 2. Car up in the air with some contact by other cars down here, bringing out the red flag. Turn them loose to get lap number 11 underway here at Lincoln Speedway. JJ on the bottom of the racetrack. Latimus tries the top. It's J.J. Loss holding on to the front spot. Latimus 2nd. Smith is 3rd. 11 laps down. By Preston Latimus, but now Danny Dietrich enters the picture. 5 cars racing under a blanket back into turn number 1. Raymer all over J.J. Loss. They're side by side. Freddie Raymer on the outside. Raymer pulls into the lead. And here comes Danny Dietrich into 2nd. Back down in turns 1 and 2. He's in striking distance now. Raymer up against the wall. Dietrich gets underneath him and will take the lead off turn 4. Final corner. Here comes Danny Dietrich off turn number 4. His first win of the season here at Lincoln Speedway. All right, fans, he's going up top. How about a big round of applause? Cody Fletcher, Hunter Fulton, Jaden Wolf, all in a battle for that runner-up spot as Eli Tuckey continues to lead. 10 laps down and 10 to go. We're halfway. Between Eli Tuckey and Cody Fletcher, and it's even closer now in the backstretch. They're side by side in 3 and 4. Cody Fletcher on the bottom of the racetrack. Eli trying to keep the momentum around the top, down in turns 1 and 2. They're side by side, wheel to wheel, off the second turn, drag racing down the backstretch. Fletcher on the inside, Tuckey on the outside, 2 to go. And they're wheel to wheel, wing to wing, with less than a mile to race now. Traffic in front of the leaders. Here they come for the white flag. One more time around. This is it. Final lap. Fletcher on the bottom. Tuckey on the outside. Fletcher tries to put the 66 in front of the 22. Here they come. Final lap, final corner. Who's got it? Cody Fletcher.
It is time to light the fires and kick the tires here at the Port Royal Speedway, and we got trouble there off of turn number 4, the big one here at the Port Royal Speedway, and the caution flag comes out, which is going to turn into a red flag.
As Karkland gets on the throttle here at the Packers Concessions chalk line at turn 4. Sideways he goes, Zierfoss with no room to play with, right into the inside wall. Wagner nowhere to go as well, and you just see these guys get stacked up, and Spithaler really just went over top of the whole pile as well there. Really caught some good hang time.
And 2 leaves that bottom side open for Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith pulls alongside Karkland momentarily. What happens in the 3? Now Karkland's going to take that bottom side away. Him and Smith both wash up the hill off of 4. Here comes Doug Hammaker once again to the inside of AJ Flick.
Looking for that third spot was Hammaker. He'll go inside of Flick once again as Ryan Smith's inside. Karkland side by side for the leadoff 2.
Battle for the top spot and a battle for third. Here comes another run by the Kunkeltown kid, but the car just does not stick on the bottom side on the entry into turn 3, but he's still keeping pace with Karkland. Karkland still has a 3-car length lead in the 5K. 4 seconds.
The JNS Classics
22. Karkland sideways in turns 3 and 4 with the lap car. He saves it, but here comes Doug Hammaker. Hammaker 5-car lengths behind Karkland.
His heart might be up in his throat in the 5K right now of Jake Karkland. He survived once again, but we're going to be down into single-digit laps, and the JNS Classics 22 is on his tail.
It's 1 and 2.
2 drivers who have never visited Kishbank Victory Lane here in a 410 sprint car are about to battle it out for the top spot. 2 lap cars in front of your leader. Where does Karkland go?
Karkland tried to split him off of 4, couldn't do it. Broke his momentum. Can he do it this time? It's turns 1 and 2. Karkland drives deep in the corner. He'll get by the lap car as Hammaker still tries to reel him in. Karkland still letting her rip top side.
3 laps to go this time by Hammaker. He's on the bottom. Karkland, he's on the top side. Who's gonna park it in Kishbank Victory Lane here this evening?
3 laps to go here at the Port Royal Speedway. Hammaker still trying to make that middle side work, but Karkland has the momentum. We're going to see the twin sticks this time by, but the caution is out. Caution flag waves when the leaders were coming to the 2 to go signal. As the rain begins to fall here at the Port Royal Speedway. Again, we are in a holding pattern here at the Port Royal Speedway as the rain begins to fall with 3 laps to go in the Wykers Livestock 410A main event.
Monday, April 6th, 2026. I am Jimmy here with Jay-Z. We are the Turn 2 Terribles, and we got a very, very special guest with us tonight, special guest host. Second time to the show. He was a part of our year-end show last year, Ryan Smith. Ryan, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. I think I was the only one here that was at Lincoln. I'm excited to give my input of what I saw and listen to what you guys saw this weekend.
We got a lot of racing to talk about, actually. Lots of storylines that happened over the weekend at Williams Grove, Lincoln, Port Royal. And then we'll take a look ahead here. We got another 4-race, 3-day weekend on tap here in Pennsylvania. You got the Outlaws coming back at I-55, and the season's starting to get rolling here. and then we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Show wouldn't be what it is without you guys in the chat. We see you guys out there: Matt Bird, James Magby, Dirt Track, Ant Santos, Todd, Mandy, Marie. Thanks you all. Aunt Bay, what's going on? Ethan Smith, what's going on? Troy Savage, what's up, man? Appreciate you all for joining in, tuning in. As always, show wouldn't be the same as it is without you. So make sure you're putting in your hot takes, your opinions in the chat. We'll get to as many as we can. Jay-Z, man, how are you doing tonight?
I'm ready to get this going. I'm glad Ryan's here. The personality and the talent's actually here now, so we're gonna have an easy night.
I get too nervous on here. It's the problem with this podcast is that it's live, and anything you say can't be taken back.
Nope. We know that one. All right, let's get to it. Here we go. Let's start with Friday night at Williams Grove. First, shout out to Dirt Vision, PA Posse TV, and Flow Racing for putting highlights out there, so we have something for. It's a good little refresher that we can use before we get started here. Friday night, we'll talk about the big storyline here, but the other storyline here is Steven Snyder Jr. getting his first Williams Grove win on Friday night over Lance DeWeese, Freddie Raymer, Dylan Norris, Brock Zierfoss, Cam Smith, Tyler Ross, Chase Dietz, Preston Latimus, and Danny Dietrich. The top 10. Your heat race winners were Anthony Macri, Chase Dietz, Preston Latimus, and your hard charger was Brock Zierfoss, going from 16th to 5th. Big storyline here, though, before we get to Steven, is Anthony Macri. Saw that wreck. Gets hopped up over the cushion, gets onto the guardrail a little weird and takes a hard landing on the frame. 2 vertebrae broken in his back. It's going to be probably a little bit before we see him again, which is unfortunate because he had a back injury last year that kept him out of the National Open and the last chunk of last season. So first and foremost, we're it's unfortunate about the injury. Wish everything but the best and a speedy recovery for Anthony, and hope to see him back here soon. He did take the lead from Steven Snyder Jr. Steven was still right there, and then, like I said, he kind of biked up over the cushion there and took a awkward landing. It wasn't like a crazy hard wreck, but just the way it landed just is what ended up causing the injury, and it's really unfortunate. Before we get to that, what are your thoughts on that, guys?
Ryan?
Yeah, it was. He was going to win that race going away. The track was really fast, and you can see from the rundown, Brock passed a lot of cars, but Chase 9 to 8, Dietrich 18 to 10. I think some of those guys might have been guys that dropped out. Troy 13 to 11, like a lot of good guys kind of mid-pack there. So it was really fast. And with a guy like Macri, as good as he is getting out front, it kind of knew it was over. And then just one trip on the cushion and gave Steven the lead back, and he wasn't going to make the same mistake again, and just kind of drove away. It was a lot of tight race, and I know I saw a couple tight sliders off of 4. Brock was making it work. He was coming through the field, and he was kicking ass and taking names. So it was it was fun to watch, but I'm sure it was probably wasn't a lot of fun for those guys that were just kind of hammered down riding around.
Yeah, there was a few things here. The one that I'll be honest with you, the Macri was obviously the low light highlight, the big event of the evening. I hate it that it kind of takes away from Snyder's win a little bit, right? But I mean, Anthony's a national name, and it sort of overtook the headline a little bit about Steven getting his first Williams Grove win. But we're probably lucky we didn't have a Port Royal style pileup, which we're going to obviously get to. Everyone saw here in this race, because on a second full restart, Preston Latimus took off and hit the inside wall a ton, and just shoved him way up the track in front of basically the whole field, and everybody avoided. He kept going, but the left front wheel was bent to the point that I don't know how it was holding air. It was kind of wild. And he hit the inside wall a ton and he was the pole sitter. It was like I was standing right there and I was just sort of like I was like doing one of these like, oh my God, this is gonna be bad. So that was like how this thing started. We took off and got going and Anthony was so fast. And um watching that replay, I missed like I got a lot of this wreck, but I didn't see like the very, very start of it. And that camera view that Dirt Vision has really shows you how fast they were going and what aero does to these cars. Cause that was aero, straight up aero. He didn't really make a mistake. But if you watch that replay and you watch Joey, he's above the cushion. I don't think Anthony at all thought he would be that high. So he wanted to go in the cushion above Joey to kind of to loop around and to lap him, and he would have been fine if he had air on the wing. But Joey went up there and kind of blew over the cushion too, and it just the front there was no air on the car, and it just got on the right front and was gone. I didn't see that initially. The first couple pictures I have, I see Joey is up above the fluff, like in the cushion, and I'm like something went on there, and I wasn't like watching him, and that replay that Dirt Vision has is unbelievable. So those two things, Steven Snyder Jr. Then once he got going, I think Lance post race interview with Jeremy Elliott was kind of like I was holding on for second. I didn't have anything for Snyder. It was super fast. I was just trying to be second in that case. Just sort of was one of those deals. Dylan Norris, another good run.
Yeah.
Keeps every week. The other one is Brock here. I'm not sure I've seen Brock drive that aggressively in a long, long time. Now he went 16th to 5th, but on the way there early on, he almost wiped out Chase. It was like like a NASCAR excuse me, like bumping you out of the way at Martinsville, like door to door. It was pretty like, oh shit move. But he obviously had a good car and felt comfortable because he was probably as aggressive or more aggressive than I have ever seen him race in person. And clearly that backs up with 16th to 5th. So, but yeah, I mean, a couple guys that got it right. The moves went the right way. They whatever. But you look at Danny 18 to 10, like he was saying, like Rhyme saying, 13 to 11, 11 to 7, 10 to 6. I mean,
It was hard to pass.
Brock's the shining star there.
Yeah.
That's a great top 5 for him. And unfortunately, didn't get to go Saturday night and figure out if he was on to something as far as a whole, the whole deal. So he'll have to go back at it this weekend. But man, Steven Snyder Jr., gets the first 410 win last year at Western PA Speed Week, has had some speed here this year, but, wasn't really like there. Congratulations, man. Young guys on the rise for sure. And interesting notes post race. Did y'all, I'm sure it's made its rounds now.
Yeah.
But CBI and Spire Motorsports, he's going to drive a sprint car for them this year at some point.
Yeah, the car that Logan Seavey was driving out with High Limit.
Yeah, so interested to see where that is, how that plays out. But he's basically at this point he's 50 to 60 races on a 410 wing schedule. He wants to go wing racing and he was like not shy about it in that interview of I want to be on tour, I want to be full time, I want to do this for a living, I wanted to be in a wing 410 sprint car. He's a 410 sprint car driver now, boys. So I don't know if I've seen many interviews with him, of other wins in other cars. Maybe he said this before, but I feel like this was sort of that coming out party of like, here I am, I'm here, guys, I'm going to do this for a living full time. Here's what's going on. And I don't know, maybe if anyone else knows him, follows him kind of around the area of the country. I mean, anybody else ever heard this kind of from him?
I haven't. I mean, I think he just started running in that car last year, and they kind of pick and chose. They ran around here. They would go out west a little bit. Just kind of random when they would run. I guess really whenever he could, because he's still doing micros and whatnot. So, but yeah, I mean, you're starting to see him run more and more, and then if there was any doubt, that check out that Sprint Car Unlimited interview that he had, because he, like you said, he wasn't shy about, hey, we're going 410 racing. Like this is where I want to be. So, and he's already off to a really good start. I mean, he has to have less than 40 starts. So, yeah, I mean, he maybe made 20, 25. I'm not sure exactly, but has to be less than 40 starts in his career. And he has a couple, he won somewhere last year.
Yeah, Western PA Speed Week at
Yeah.
Tri-City.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And then win at Williams Grove here against that competition. I don't care if you did start up front on a fast track, you got to go take care of business. And, you look at the look at the guys behind them, Lance Deweese and Freddie Raymer on the podium. Those are guys that know how to win at Williams Grove, even when the track is fast. You know what I mean? So he did his job. They did a great job. And it's exciting. This is another name, when we've been talking all of our season preview stuff, we've talked young guys. This isn't a guy that we really talked about because we weren't really sure. We weren't really sure, and now he's gonna be on the radar for sure. A win at Williams Grove will do that. Maybe shame on us; he should have been on the radar before, but he definitely is now.
Yeah, I know. Now that the 27H is a wing team, but a few years ago when before USAC East Coast made their announcement that they were going 410s and then since reversed it. But when they made that announcement, I think that's when they said, look, we're not running 410 wingless around here. We're going to start a wing team. But I think it was a year before that, Steven got in the 27H after, I want to say Alex Bright part of it. And I don't think he made it half a season. He ran like maybe 5 or 6 races and tore a couple cars up and just didn't look comfortable.
I think it was like
and then
2 or 3 races in record.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't much. I remember he was at Williams Grove and it didn't last. It wasn't good. So it's nice that Mike and Kurt give him another chance, and he's proven that it's a good choice. Even though a little foreshadowing, the next night he ends up on his lid, but it's pretty good choice. I mean, the kid's really fast, and he's getting looks from all across the country with CBI and Spire, and I hope he goes far. It's cool watching talent from this area grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll see down the road. Someone already said, hey, for 2027, a second Spire car. This could be a kid that's, maybe lined up in that. But like, I feel like this has all the ratings on the wall for like the Book 13 car in like a year and a half, like or something. Like it just makes sense of like, I don't know what Tanner Holmes and what he signed and how that all ends up, but like it just has this trajectory of like going to that. And but if the the Spire CBI thing comes together, becomes a real thing, and they go on, want to be on tour, and depending on how, I mean, look, a lot of things have to happen, a lot of things can change, a million things probably will between now and then, even if there is a plan. But it would not surprise me at all. Get through 2026, he gets this under his belt, and plans are made for him to be, in a full time on a tour for 27 or 28, depending on how things go. But definitely a talent on the rise. And Lance actually mentioned it like, about in that interview. It was kind of interesting. And now I remember he had brake problems and he was just hanging on without brakes at the end of that. But he said something about getting this 27H, this kid already winning and at this young or this early in his career, we're in trouble kind of thing. So, and Lance has been a huge supporter and believer in Anthony Macri. And I feel like a guy like him can spot this talent, and if he's already like, holy shit, everybody, this kid's on everybody's radar for sure.
Yeah. Ant was right, by the way. It was Briggs and then Steven the next year. Cause I remember it was someone really good that was in the car. And I was like, why would they ever part ways? Like they kicked ass for an entire season, but it was Briggs. Then he gave Snyder a shot and that didn't work. So they put Alex in. Cause I think they wanted that car in front of Briggs every night, and Steven wasn't quite doing that. So Alex got in. He was pretty good.
Flyer fan here is I believe is right too. When they started going wing racing, they had Ryan Timms in that car for a few races.
I think he ran the Tusky 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so I mean, look at the names. Just the 4 names that we just talked about. Those are some young. I mean, obviously some wingless talent. But to getting some of these wingless guys into a wing car and all that, it's a lot of big names, big younger names there that have been in that car in the past few years. And Tim's did run a handful of shows as well. Thank you. Daniel Keller says he's won one He's won one race. Let's see how he does longer term. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like we said,
Yeah, I
like
think
we'll talk here.
I think we're all I think we're all in agreement there. But he wants to do this. He's committing to it. He wants to do it, and I think everybody knows raw talent. I mean, it's near the top of the list and raw talent of young guys out there for sure.
And I think shout out to Lance DeWeese because during that red, he was getting pushed back because his brakes were on fire, and I didn't even think he was going to make it back out, let alone end up finishing the race out in second. Couple races now where that 8's had some brake problems. Hopefully they're getting that figured out.
Originally, they said he told the officials he was
something.
Right. Yeah, I thought he was done.
Originally, they told the officials that he was done, but then with Anthony's injury and a long cleanup, they made an open red, and I think whatever was the problem, I don't think he had brakes the rest of the race, but whatever was the problem, they could kind of patch it up under the open red and assess the situation, and didn't need to DNF.
Yeah, this issue he said was separate from the ones they had before. This was more of a part failure. They the caliper was an issue with caliper. They unhooked the caliper into the red, were able to finish up and just hang on basically. Because I was walking through the pits near Anthony's trailer, and somebody was like, "Yeah, Lance is out. He's out." And then I see him fire up and roll around, and I'm like, "They just lie to me." I just think it was that like, "Hey, we're done. Oh wait, we have enough time to get this thing at least to roll back off and see if we can finish it." So he did say it was completely separate from the other brake issues, what they found before, and this was just a part failure. So something a little bit different for sure.
Any other final thoughts from the 410 on Friday night?
Chase Dietz in his heat race was insane. Went just the first heat, everyone kind of went in the bottom and was real patient. He sailed it in around him into turn 1, and then into turn 3. I think Freddie tried to drive it in hard, and Chase drove it in harder. And I was watching from the top of the 27 trailer, and it looked like he had to be 40 miles an hour faster than everybody else. It was insane. He was ripping. That was all I had.
Daniel Keller said he would not have won, but Anthony wrecked. He's young. He needs more seat time. He's going to be scary longer term. I totally agree. Dirt Track Ant says, I remember hearing Snyder won over $100,000 in a season running a micro a couple seasons ago or something. Yeah, he won the Keith Coons Chili Bowl ride when he was doing. I think they still do. I think they do some form of that. But he won. He had a big micro. He's one of the better micro racers in the country. You know what I mean? And to get now making the jump up to 410s is pretty is going to be scary, I think, because he has a lot of talent. Ben Thomas says we'll see how Steven does when he gets to run the Spire card this year. That was news that kind of went unnoticed due to worrying about Macri's health. Yeah, I agree. Ryan's no longer allowed on the show without the giant chicken.
Not my proudest night.
Right.
Actually, might be.
I was the most proud. I was never more proud of you than that night. I mean, I'm just saying.
Hey, my parents are coming up for Wykert weekend, so I might have a couple days kid free at Port.
Oh, nice!
Weekend,
Let's go.
Could be a party.
Wykert's always a great time too. All right, 358 sprints from Friday night, and we got to give a big shout out. Chase Gutshall with the win on Friday night, just pretty much dominated this one. Green the checkered. He was fast. He won his heat race. He was fast all night. Led this one wire to wire. Gets the win over Brett Warner, Derek Locke, Cody Fletcher, Brock Hammaker, who was impressive, Jake Eldrith, Justin Foster, Matt Finley, Hunter Fulton, and Jacob Galloway. Your top 10, your heat race winners were Gutshall, Fletcher, and Cole Young. And your hard charger going +7 spots from 17th to 10th was Jacob Galloway. Obviously, Cody Fletcher, he went +5 spots here. It was a good 358 race. Chase kind of, I don't want to say stunk it up, but that's what he's out there to do. You know what I mean? But there was some good battles throughout the rest of the field, but especially between Cody Fletcher and Brock Hammaker, which I think a lot of people are. I think Brock Hammaker is starting to turn some heads here. He's definitely somebody, but the man of the night was Chase Gutshall. It was awesome to see him get a win, and like I said, he was a rocket ship all night.
Yeah, this thing, the track, there was a lot of track left for these guys, and they were able to race really, really hard. And man, they got a power plant in that one car. That 1A, man, that thing was ripping. And it was hooked up too, right? Look, the motor doesn't matter if you can't get the car in the racetrack, and it was. Um, I don't want to take away from Brett Warner. It's probably one of the better runs he's had in a long time in that car. Derek Locke, Cody Fletcher, Brock Hamaker. I actually couldn't see the battle between Cody and Brock there at the end. I was trying to run toward victory lane, didn't see it. I'm glad I got to see that replay. That was fun. Man, Brock Hamaker, like 2 starts, 2 top fives, basically, and like never ran a 358 until the heat race of the first race he did. Um, it's quite a bit different than a super sportsman. They're very
Yeah.
different. I can't. I mean, I obviously followed Brock and done some media stuff for him, videos and photos and stuff, and met him. So kind of following his deal a little bit, and it's like he just gets it, and he's like, I don't know, he just adapted to it, and we've seen this before where guys get into stuff, and it's like, yeah, I mean, guy, it's good equipment, whatever, but he's never driven one before. It wouldn't, I think everybody's like, hey, we'll give him a few, and we're still gonna. It's not like he's won anything yet, but at the same time, like he's running at the BAPS race when he went from the back of the field to the top 5.
Yeah.
This race on a hammer down, haven't ran a 358 at Williams Grove in his life, run as fast as it could be in a 358, and it's like, okay, he just seems to get it. Justin Foster debuting a 23M, and that car looked pretty good. Looked like he was having a blast running around the top there. Man, I got to know the story a little bit. Christopher Broadway in 21st. I didn't get to see this crash where I was. It sounds like he just went in turn 1 and that car did not turn.
Yeah.
There was no red flag for this, which blows my mind based on what I saw in the pit area. That thing was the front tires were folded underneath the front of the car sitting there. He hit that hard. That car is 100% junk. It took him over a year to build this car. He is one of them. It was his to build this, and it was a beautiful race car, beautiful car. He wasn't scared of it. Awesome. I saw him in the heat race. Yeah, I got to learn this story from Trevor Stover a little bit, and this is part of it, right? You put a lot of time and effort in, no matter who you are, what you are. It's a lot of time, money, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, and it took that long, and in one night it's gone. Hopefully we see him out again someday, somehow. So he can learn and get the seat time he needs to get better. He's certainly not scared of it, for sure. Sounds like Eli Tuckey had an issue at the beginning of it. The beginning of that, I didn't see that either. Cole Young took a ride in this thing. But man, they had a racetrack to race on. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to watch this one driving home. I worked Saturday morning, so I didn't get a chance to stay for the 358s. I didn't even know that Christopher crashed. Did he crash in the feature?
Yeah, it was in the feature. It was actually, you could kind of see it in the highlights. If you remember our buddy Brett Perigo's wreck at Williams Grove a few years ago, where it was kind of similar, just straight up into the wall. You could kind of see it just out of the corner of the camera, and then it pans back and sees him.
Yeah.
He's on his side. It looked like it tipped over after he hit. So
that was a beautiful race car. I saw it in the hot laps, and it was he was scaring me for hot laps and the heat race. Like he was going into 1, and it was washing all the way almost to the opening off of 2, and then like sideways down the back stretch, and he was scaring me. And I kind of figured it was his first laps. I'd never heard the name before. Really sucks that he destroyed a car, especially taking that long to build. And maybe they have the knowledge now that they can get back this year. It won't take as long to build another one, but that's a shame.
Maybe I have the wrecks mixed up because maybe it was something else.
I think you do a little bit. I do. There was a red for the Cole Young wreck. There was definitely a red for that one.
Oh, that's
Cole's,
right. Yeah,
I saw Cole's. His was. I had that on my list of things. Was Cole Young? I'm glad he's okay because I think he went in. I can't remember. He jumped somebody's right rear on corner entry, and that thing turned dead right into the wall, and that was bad.
Yeah,
it's a good thing that he's all right.
That's the one I'm thinking of. My bad.
Yeah, I did catch that one. That was rough. And then
Cole was up there running with like Eldrith, Foster, Finley.
Yeah, it was 4th or 5th. He was
in that area.
For.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it might have been Derek Locke's right rear that he got over, but that was pretty rough. That was hard to watch. There's a lot of bad crashes this weekend. Just glad that Anthony obviously is hurt, which Anthony's ironically was one of them that didn't look as bad as the rest. But there was a lot of bad crashes that people walked away from. So I'm thankful for all that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Oh
think
yeah,
he
Seth Schnoke too. Could have
Yeah,
been.
who
Oh,
won
you know
there.
what? Seth ended up. He was up
was
there.
right in
Where's
front
yeah,
of
yeah.
him.
He
He's right in front of
DNF'd, so
Bolt.
that it
Yeah.
probably was that one. Yep, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I wondered
Yeah, I
what
remember
happened
it
to him
was
because
someone
I
up
was in
front.
4 and I couldn't see this at all. I didn't know who was in it. I had no idea. So that makes sense though.
Yeah, one name that's not on the list here is you guys were talking about Brock, his teammate Frankie. I guess is that maybe that's no more, or maybe it's a
It
one car
sounds
crew
that
no
way.
more. Yeah.
I believe so. It sounds like Frankie's going to move on, do some other things. I'm hearing a super sportsman. I'm hearing some other things. So I don't think he's done behind the wheel, but I don't believe it's going to be with that 70/68D team anymore, at least that I'm aware of. So sounds like that's a back to a one card team, and they're moving forward with Brock for now.
It's a good choice
Yeah.
to have Brock in the car, not to get rid of Frankie, but it is a good choice to have Brock behind the wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so far
proven
so
it so far.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, Chase Gutshall, man, congratulations on the win. Like I said, just pretty sure he was quickest on hot laps. He won his heat race going away, and then pretty much won this feature going away. Just not much more to say. I mean, he just he took
Domination.
him. He took him to the woodshed on this one and got a much well deserved win. And congratulations to that team. Final thoughts from Williams Grove. Let's take a look. Actually, I have 410 points up. I know it's only 2 races in, but to be honest, I do these on a template, so once I started, I could just update it every week. It's a lot easier. So, just put Lance DeWeese right now has the early lead over Dylan Norris, Cam Smith, Danny Dietrich, Brett Shearer, your top 5, Zierfoss, Raymer, Billy Dietrich, Chase Dietz, and Troy Wagaman round out the top 10. Still early, but Lance has been the most consistent out of the first 2 races. All right, Lincoln on Saturday, starting with the 410s. Saturday was our first look here, post PA Posse series, kind of shaking up the schedule a little bit, where we had both Lincoln and Port Royal running the same day, and they got a pretty much even car counts. I think Port had 26 and Lincoln had 24. Not bad. And there was a couple cars that were noticeably missing that I think you're seeing are maybe going to just kind of do the Posse series and maybe not some of these other ones. But anyway, Lincoln, Danny Dietrich from 11th to 1st, getting the win over Freddie Raymer, Cam Smith, Matt Campbell, Preston Latimus, Logan Rumsey. Good to see him back out there after a motor issue at BAPS a few weeks ago. Billy Dietrich, Aaron Bollinger, Chad Trout, and Tim Glatfelter. Your top 10. Your heat race winners were JJ Loss, Jude Siegel, and Preston Latimus, which they were having a pretty good battle in the beginning of this race for the lead. JJ Loss led quite a bit of this race early on. And then Chad Trout was actually your hard charger, going plus 11th from 20th to 9th. But Danny Dietrich, man, Danny and Freddie right at the end just kind of, they were patient-ish, it seemed like from the highlights, like patient, just kind of weaving their way through traffic. And then once Freddie and Danny got out front, Danny was just a lot stronger. Freddie misses going in the 3 and 4. And I think Danny was going to get him on the bottom either way. He was just the faster car, and Danny looked really, really good in this one.
Yeah, it was a really good race. The track it seemed like it got wide as the race went on, which was really good. It started out pretty fast, and you see JJ being really patient with Jude. Jude kind of first couple for 410 starts and getting the pole. He held his own for a little while, and then contact with Steven, and they ended up upside down and collected Ross and Raymer in it. But yeah, it was a really good race once the track kind of came to everybody. Danny and Freddie both just kind of picking cars off one at a time, and Freddie got to the front and thought either it was going to be a really good battle to the win, or Freddie was just going to drive away. He's obviously really good at Lincoln. The track was fast, and then Freddie made one mistake. Danny capitalized, and Danny drove away. So it was a lot of fun. I think the 358 race was better than the 410s by a lot. That was a really good race. But Yeah, anything that stands out. Preston Latimus, really good run. JJ Loss had a really good run. I don't know if the contact with Preston kind of sent it in there and getting into the left side of JJ is what broke the steering, or if it was something unrelated. But it did suck to see that JJ was kind of just hanging on, and either coincidentally it broke when he got passed for the lead, or he just decided it wasn't worth it anymore and pulled in. But yeah, it was another good night. More hard crashes. Steven Snyder, Jordan Strickler's heat race crash was horrible. I mean, I caught the end of it, and the thing looked like it was still going full speed, upside down through 3 and 4. And I'm glad he's all right, because that was wicked. Talon Haas got in the wall, and I don't think he got over, but he got in the wall pretty hard. Dominic Malaire was running up front early, and then I don't know if it was motor problems or what, but he ended up pulling in pretty
That was
early.
something that was surprised me when I'm like, oh, that's the 19 car that I believe
Aaron
Bollinger.
Bollinger.
Yeah, he was running.
Yeah, Anthony Motorsports, I think.
Yeah, Dominic wasn't running his family 55. He was running that, and he was up front. He started fourth here, and it was up front, and yeah. So that was something interesting that kind of stood out to me. And then Jordan Strickler's wreck. I didn't see anything on it, but we saw what the car looked like afterwards, and just glad that he's all right. It's awful.
Yeah, I've seen a couple clips, and it was pretty hard to watch, and just those eerie few seconds of before anyone climbs out or any safety crew gets there, and just silence across the track. It was pretty wicked.
Yeah, I shot Jordan a text yesterday. He said he's pretty sore, but he was back at work, so seems to be up and about. He's going to be sore for a while, and he'll probably have a lot of time to rest up, because he's going to have to build an ground up race car. Watching the highlights of this thing, definitely a racetrack for these guys to run hard on. But what stood out to me was, and I don't want to take anything away from some of the good runs with like JJ and Jude that were up there, but Freddie and Danny, to me, just showed you what that next level speed looks like.
Mhm.
They got out front. They were just gone, just like head and shoulders faster than those cars. And it's interesting. This reminded me of sort of old school handicap Lincoln racing that I grew up watching, where the fast cars were kind of in the middle of the pack, and you're watching that guy out front, like old school, like Eric Stamball, or, those guys that would really good out front, right? And just gone. And you're like, damn, man, they look really fast. Once a fast car gets to that car, they no longer look fast. Now you know what fast looks like. And it's no knock from that, but that's just experience and time and winning a lot of races. And Danny and Freddie were just that much better once they got there and gone, and their cars looked stable. They knew what they wanted to do. They had a plan. The other thing that jumped out to me was Freddie making a mistake like he did on a racetrack where there wasn't really a lap car there. You don't see that from Freddie very often. You don't see him make a mistake like that and just blow the corner completely, and Danny just went on and did his thing. I would have loved to have seen that heads up without a mistake, see how that ended up, because that was a racetrack that was going to be hard to pass another fast car that already got the lead in front of you. That would have been fun to watch potentially. And I think Danny was better at that point, but being better and then completing the pass are two different things. That would have been something for the crowd for sure. If there would that would have been, it would have to be an aggressive move, I think, to complete that pass, because the track did widen out, but it wasn't wide. Like they were not really high up in 3 and 4 yet, even at that point in the feature. So yeah, and watching his replay a little bit, it looks like Steven Snyder just kind of ran over the left rear of Jude, and it was on from there. I think he may have guessed wrong where Jude was going to go. One of those deals, entry to one. We've seen that in Lincoln plenty of times. Sometimes it's from being absolutely just over aggressive and driving through the driver. This didn't have that vibe. I'm sure Jude thought otherwise, but it just sort of looked like he was going to go to the bottom, committed, and just thought Jude was going to go to a different place there. So, Danny and Freddie, man, like that's the showdown everybody wants to see, and they came through the field and got it done. And I posted something on our page. Someone anonymous posted, Danny was cherry picking at Lincoln, right? I mean, he did. I mean, he's not getting shit for showing up against Freddie. Hell, Troy wasn't even there. Why isn't he getting shit for this? I agree. No, listen, I know why he went, and I don't it didn't surprise me at all that he showed up at Lincoln this weekend, even though time trials at Port, just got a win at Port. Like all the things said he's going to go to Port Royal.
Mhm.
Well, he was pretty adamant and open about like we suck at Lincoln this year, and I got to fix it. I got to get back in there, get laps because it's the worst I've ever felt or been at Lincoln with the results, even with some decent results. He was been in interviews and said it out loud like I've been sucking ass. I got to get. So this didn't surprise me, and he got out and in the interview seemed like all the demons are fixed.
Yeah.
Felt
Yeah.
like old school Lincoln. I could do anything I needed to do with the car. It did everything I wanted. We really, and we've seen this before where they're off, and boom, they go win a bunch of races. So, certainly can happen. And it did not surprise me at all to see him go to Lincoln to get those laps, no matter what's coming to Port, no matter how many big races I think Danny's a guy who lives, he's got some pride about how well he does at Lincoln and didn't feel great about how the year started. So like, hey, if I can get Lincoln fixed and okay, we're back on track, bounce around now, go do what we want to do, chase money, chase whatever we got to do next. So didn't surprise me a bit. Good run for Matt Campbell, by the way, 12-4. You like to see that. Quiet, sneaky, good start for Matt Campbell. If you go back and look at some results of that team, it's a brand new team. Go back and look at some of the results. He's had a pretty good start to the year, all things told. So Logan Rumsey, man, great to see him back out there. That was cool. Tim Gladfelder already with a bunch of starts already this year. I talked to him at Lincoln last week, and I was like, man, I thought you sold all your stuff. I thought you retired. Hell, he's had it out more this year, I think, than he has in the last couple already. So that was cool. Yeah, Jordan Strickler sucks. Hopefully we see him back sooner than later. He just got that motor back too this past week.
That sucks.
Just got it in, didn't run a lap. First time in it. So yeah, not great. But yeah, that's what I saw from the replay there. But yeah, let's talk about this 358 unless anybody has anything else, because
Yeah, I do.
Race of the weekend.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ryan, and we'll move on.
So that comment that Jay-Z posted online, that was mine. That I sent to those guys privately. But and that's fine. It was misinterpreted, I think. And it wasn't me diminishing anything that Danny did. I mean, he didn't even make the handicap and still drove up and won. I think what I was trying to get at was every time that you see a Freddie win against this same group of cars, except you replace Danny with Troy or Chase or somebody, and Freddie gets the win, there's no competition at Lincoln. He's cherry picking, blah, blah, blah. Danny gets the win, and all the comments are, went down there and kicked all their asses, took their money. And it's like, why is there such a double standard that when Freddie wins at Lincoln, it's because he doesn't leave, and that's true, but it has nothing to do with what track you run at. It's the competition you run against. And Cam Smith, Matt Campbell, Logan Rumsey, Aaron Bollinger, like they're all good drivers at Lincoln that are proven winners or will be winners. And Danny and Freddie both just driving through the field and pass them. They race the same competition, but the results online are always different depending on who wins. And I get you, everyone has their favorites, but let's think about it from a race standpoint and not from a what t-shirt am I wearing standpoint. You buy a Troy Walgerman Jr. merch anytime you go to the racetrack that he's at, and you'll see me. Shameless plug there. But I don't know. I just get so tired of like the Facebook professionals of Lincoln Speedway, and there's 150 comments both times if Danny or Freddie wins, and if it's Danny, there'll be a few hate comments, but it's mostly love. If it's Freddie, it's just everyone shitting on him. And I get it, you don't like the guy, but like let's just use our brains that they both race the same field of cars, and Freddie, next week Freddie could win, and you'll see what I'm talking about is they'll just be shitting on him. So that was what the comment was about. It wasn't me hating on Danny at all. It was more, I'm just tired of seeing Freddie and Troy getting, well, sometimes, but I just tired of seeing Troy and Freddie get shit on when they do the same thing Danny did. It was a hell of a drive. I mean, he didn't even make the handicap, finished fourth in his heat, and still drove up and passed them all and won the race. I mean, he was really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's a double standard. And that's what it's always been there, no matter. It's been 2 generations of this, and it's not going to change. And I'm here for it. I'm okay with it. It is what it is, because these aren't easy to win. If it were easy to win, everybody'd have a win, and they don't. So I don't care who's at the racetrack and at this level. Shit isn't easy to win, and the guys that make it look easy are really, really good.
Yep.
That's simple.
Tyler Koenig here says Danny moved past Brian Monteith for 5th all time on the 410 win list at Lincoln with that win. So that's
really why
pretty-
Ryan's mad. That's
That's
really
what-
why he's upset. To be
I didn't even
honest.
know that till now. I wouldn't have came on the show if I knew that was the case. Disrespect my boy Brian like that.
Oh man! All right, let's get to the 358s. Like you said, possibly that was definitely the race of the weekend for sure. Cody Fletcher gets the win here over Eli Tuckey. Man, Eli Tuckey. If it wasn't for Cody Fletcher so far, and just how dominant it's pretty much been, I mean, he didn't win Williams Grove on Friday, but was on his way to trying to get there. That's his only loss of the year, technically, you know, and he's just looking really good this year. But Eli Tuckey, I think, is probably the worry. I mean, he's been up there almost every race well, and he almost got the win here. Cody Fletcher gets him pretty much with about 2 to go. They raced side by side the last 4 or 5 laps there. Wolf was getting there. He finishes 3rd here. Hunter Fulton, Logan Spar, top 5. Ashley Capetta, Tyler Rutherford, Wyatt Hinkle, Will McNeil, and Mike Smith. Your top 10 heat race winners were Cody Fletcher and Ashley Capetta, and then your hard charger was Jaden Wolf. But 3-man, these, I think, you know, with the addition of like Derek Locke, who's looked great, obviously Chase Gutshall, you know, at Williams Grove. But these are the 3 guys I think with the 358 division, they're starting to establish themselves above kind of the rest of the field. And I would throw, like I said, I would throw Derek in there as well.
Yeah, it seems like every few years when you kind of have like a changing of the guard with the 358, some guys move up and you start to see some other names come out of nowhere, like Aiden Hare and Jude Siegel going 410 racing this year. And I think there's others. I just can't off the top of my head. But you see some names on here that you didn't normally see up front before, and they're getting their chance to shine. And it's not because those guys disappeared, but they ran good races. Eli Tuckey ran a really good race. Cody Fletcher with a lot of experience at Lincoln, a lot of experience on the bottom everywhere. And he just found it with I think he was following him around the top for a while. And then he moved to the bottom with like 5 to go maybe, and just made up a lot of ground. And it was a hell of a battle. I think I saw on Facebook today that he got a $500 bonus for a last lap pass. So that was pretty cool to lead 1 lap. And I mean, that's like over a third of their purse for that bonus. So that's pretty cool for Cody. It sucks for Eli, but I'm sure he, you know, learned from that race and they'll pick up, move on. Jaden Wolf, just doing what Jaden Wolf does, finding the cushion and driving as hard as he can. And I thought he tore down the wall in turn 1 a few times, but he was really good. It was a good race. Steve Owings just with terrible luck. That Ethan Greek there, I think it was his first night out, and I don't know what happened. I heard he was backwards for like half a lap sitting in turn 4, and just no one saw him. I didn't see him, and the leaders come barreling in, and Owings just didn't see him, or just no place to go, and called him with the right side again. So I think he's 0 for 2 on finishing races there this year after his contact. He might have finished opening day, but he had contact with Jaden Wolf, went to the work area. So just bad luck on their part. But Tyler Ulrich, I don't think he turned a lap all night, took the green and pulled in, didn't fire in the heat, sounded terrible. It was a good night. That, you know, 358s had a good track to race on, and they showed that they can put on a show too. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost like I said that here last week, and they have something to race on. There's a lot of, you know, guy like they run the bottom. There's experience. There's youth. You know, this is a division where, you know, if anybody here you watch NASCAR, and it reminds me of Xfinity, right? Everybody, great, the best cars, best racing. This is like your Xfinity O'Reilly series where, you know, the cars are a little less powered, but you have such a wide mix of experience and age, and, you know, it could create some really, really good racing with guys on different trajectories in their career. Like, it's just kind of a mix, right? And I think that if there's something for them to race on, BAPS last week, Chase stunk up the show, you know, Friday night, but he's not going to apologize for that. This race here, you know, and some of the same players, you know, you're looking like depending on how this season goes, if Steve Owing gets his shit together and gets some good luck, Steve Owings, Cody Fletcher, Eli Tuckey, and Jaden Wolf, it can be some. We're going to have some bangers at Lincoln potentially. So, and again, there's also like I know Wyatt Hinkle and Ashley, and there's going to be some other people that are going to compete and they're going to be there. So not taking away from them, but like I'm okay that it's not a two horse race potentially. It's a 5 or 6, and that's fun. They get the handicapping, guys are moving around, but we just like we've been talking about, they give them something to race on. They're not burning up tires, and they're having a little bit of fun. We're going to see some things happen that we don't love. There's some that inexperience, some bad luck, shit happens, but man, that was fun to watch. I watched it earlier today, and I watched it again today, and it was just as fun to watch today as it was earlier. And
It was fun in person.
it's cool to see. Hunter Fulton, man, like if you don't know this Hunter's background, maybe a third year in a sprint car, second, third, and only ran a handful of races. Each of those came from street stock, extreme stocks, and some late model racing at BAPS weekly into a 358, top 5, and
wild.
looked pretty sporty doing it. Had some good runs. Like he's a talented race car driver. Logan Sparr, his third career 358 race, I think, from the 305 division.
Yeah.
Right. So
305 standout.
Tyler Rutherford, second star of the year, didn't run a whole lot last year. Right. Got banged up a little bit, equipment, whatever the case may be. So Will McNeil, 13th to 9th. This is a name you're going to watch here the next few years. I'm telling you.
He ain't scared of the gas.
Had a lot of experience on the come up. Right. The 76, Michael Smith is a name we watch. Right. Guy on the crew is in the chat here. Right. And he just I've been watching. Looked pretty good in testing. Starting to figure it out a little bit. So I love this division. I hope it thrives. I hope if Lincoln they continue to get something for these guys to race on. Car counts come back where we all want it and where it's been, and we see some great racing continue. And if we have to see 18 cars, at least we're going to have an 18 car fun race. But yeah, Cody, is it the year of Cody Fletcher? I mean, I hope not for the rest of the field, but it sure looks like it. 3 out of 4 to start the year ain't too bad.
I will say.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just going to say they've been really good, and obviously you see, I think it looks like Cody lost a lot of weight in the off season, and I was thinking to myself leaving the track, I'm like, wow, if he, if it was his previous self, would he have had would the car been light enough to drive by Eli at the line? So that change in his lifestyle might have been a difference in first and second on Saturday.
And I've seen Cody run the top more this first 3 races than I've seen him run in 3 years, I think. So
Yeah.
That's cool. That's fun, right? And he has the experience. He can go do it. He said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
Colton, what about
boys,
Brock
man.
Hamaker? We talked about him. Where you been, Colton? We already went over this. Where you
I
been,
wonder
bro?
if he means where was he
You're
at
late.
in the rundown, but he wasn't.
You're late.
There.
Well,
I don't know.
No,
that's
he was
kind of where I was.
He was yeah, he'll be at Lincoln more this year. He was not there yesterday. On Saturday, yes, yesterday. He wasn't there Saturday due to getting the shop in order, basically. They ran Friday, took the night off. You'll see him more 2 race weekends coming up, I would think.
Yeah, it's still early. 18 cars is a little concerning, I would say, for this division. But it's early. Don't want to jump to conclusions or anything, but it was a beautiful day and everything. So it was a little odd to see, this is a field. This is a that last year was getting 30, 35 cars. So, hopefully as we get into the summer and the season starts rolling around, some guys start getting back out there. We start seeing the car counts go up a little bit. But it was a little odd to see all the 18 cars, in my opinion. So, yeah, but Cody Fletcher, man, what a run. Feel bad for Eli Tuckey, though. He almost did everything right the entire race from watching the highlights, and Cody just got him right at the end. But Eli's been really, really fast this year. He's really been impressive. Going into the points at Lincoln, Freddie Raymer has a 180-point lead over Danny Dietrich. Then it's Matt Campbell, Logan Rumsey, Cam Smith, Chase Deach, Troy Wogman, Tyler Ross, Chad Trout, Kyle Moody, you're talking. Freddie just been most consistent there. Why is this here? Yeah, so it's something to keep keep an eye on as we get going here. Obviously, Danny's not going to run there every week, so you're going to see some new names up there trying to compete with Freddie, I think. You got Matt, you got Logan, you got Cam Smith. Tyler Ross will be up in that mix there for sure. So that'll be one to watch. Get to a couple comments here. We got conversation going on in the chat. Jaden Wolf, Magic Power Plant after his last post at BAPS. He did end up getting a new motor from Adair. It sounds like, so that was good to see him get back out there. We made that post like, hey, somebody get this kid what he needs to be out there on the track, and looks like they figured it out, which is good.
Yeah, I think that was a deal that benefited both of them. Aiden needed some stuff for his car, and Jaden needed the motor, and they kind of made a trade, some dollars and cents, and they both made it back out on track.
Back here, I want to get to our buddy Savage. Cam Smith, solid weekend. Same with Preston, but how good was the track surface? Yeah, it was really good. It was very racy. Something that Jay-Z said it wasn't necessarily like a very wide. It wasn't like to the fence, but very, very good surface. This
Fred Putney could make
been said
a
twice.
good racetrack on Route 30.
Oh, shout out! I saw it was Fred Putney's birthday, I think yesterday. So happy belated birthday to
Happy birthday, Fred.
Mr. Putney. Chris Gray, maybe Wolf could fill the 30. Now, obviously, we haven't seen Lucas Wolf out there. It doesn't sound like that's going to be anytime soon. And obviously, Anthony's health and everything comes first. We don't know what that team's going to do, but first thing that is kickstarted was who's going to fill that car. Could Lucas Wolf be one of those names? I don't know. We'll have to see what they do, but I saw 2 or 3 different people say that now, like Lucas Wolf to the 39 would be cool. It wouldn't be the first time they put a.
There's a lot of Lucas fans out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Lucas fans out there. So,
but come on, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't think so.
But I don't think so.
It would be cool. You complaining about money? I hear you. Santos' biggest thing in the 358 pits at Lincoln right now is track conditions. At first, they fixed that. Cars will come. Only time will tell. Well, I think Saturday was a great step in the right direction. Then, I mean, if you go and look that, there's no, obviously purse is always going to be an issue, but track conditions, I mean, couldn't get that much better for a 358 feature at Lincoln. Jaden Bingaman, what's going on, Jaden? Eli will get one. He's right on the edge, showing his talent. We 100% agree. Final thoughts from Lincoln, Port Royal. Yes, no, maybe, no. Okay.
I don't think so.
I talked enough.
All right, Port Royal. This was one of the more chaotic nights that I've been to a race in quite some time. Jake Karkland gets the win. First win at Port Royal. I think his first 410 win, right? I believe it's his first 410 win. I could be wrong.
Did he win something at Sealands Grove or got close?
He almost did at Sealands Grove.
Did.
He did, and I've been saying the past year, I'm like, he's been knocking on the door. He's been one of my picks that like he's a guy that's going to get a win here. He finally gets it, but in one of the strangest ways possible. So let me just walk you through Jake Karkland's night. All right, he goes quick time in it was group time trials. He does go quick time group. Comes from 4th. Lance DeWeese is leading. He runs him down on the top. Lance ends up pulling off, but it was after Jake had already passed him. Jake passed all night. Then when he gets back to the pits after his heat, catches fire. Had to go to the ambulance, burned his heel. Didn't even know if he was going to, how severe it was or if he was going to be able to race. How bad was the fire? How bad was his injury? Ends up drawing the pole. He's out there in the pole. Then the big one happens. He slips up a little on the start, causes a pretty major pileup. ends up but he keeps it going, restarts on the pole, has to hold off Ryan Smith, to 69K, almost loses it in turn 3 and 4. He almost lost it. Doug Hammaker, who was fast all night as well, is chasing him down. And then a couple laps to go. It was so with about 10 to go, it's starting to rain. It not hard, but but 5 to go is when it really started to rain, and then you could see they had to throw the yellow. That was it. But at the same time, something had to be wrong with this motor because that thing sounded like me after I ate Mexican food. It was just no bueno. It sounded awful. Something had to be wrong with that motor when you could hear it go by. So not only was he trying to hold just trying to hold on in general, just an insane night, and that's just Jake. There was other people that had some crazy nights. Troy Wagaman's one of them. Had a transponder issue in his time trial group. Ends up going quick time, has to start 5th, ends up somehow I don't know how he made it out. He was right in the middle of that huge wreck and somehow missed everything. I don't know how. Ends up finishing 4th here. AJ Flick, it was announced that, Michael Walters dealing with some health issues. Hope he gets well soon and we see him back in a car. But 77 tapped AJ Flick to take over there. He gets a podium finish here. Finishes 3rd. Looked pretty decent for the first time in the car back at Port Royal for the first time in some time. At one point after the red, you have all these cars piled up out of turn 4. There's fire sirens going off, not because of anything at the track. There must have been a fire, but the fire house is right there. So you hear these sirens. Look over at AJ Flick, who's stopped, and the Easter Bunny standing next to him. It was like a fever dream, so weird and chaotic. It was so strange, but it was awesome in the best ways. But Brock Zierfoss, who finishes 5th here, he's the one that gets some checkup from Karkland, gets into the inside wall. He technically goes -2 here, but he was charging. He had to go start at the back. Not that there was only about 15, 16. I think there's 16 cars left. But ends up coming from the back, and he looked really good. He was ripping the very top as well. It's not really indicative of how well he ran. He was closing in on Troy right at the end there. Probably if that goes to the end, I don't know. They were getting into a pretty good battle there going through lap traffic. Joey Mantia, 6th place. TJ Stutz, Buddy Schweibens, Jar McIntyre, Logan McCandless, top 10. Good runs. Corey Thornton gets an 11th place finish here. There's only 11 cars running at the end. Just a wild night. Karkland, Zierfoss, Logan Wagner were your heat race winners, which Logan Wagner, his heat race, they get to him and Jar McIntyre get together, and I don't know how McIntyre didn't junk it or the whole field piled up behind him, much like the feature did, but they kept it going. Just a wild night, just a lot of crazy stuff. There's some stuff in the 5 heats too, just wild night. But yeah, what were your thoughts on this Port Royal race?
So, first of all, I didn't realize Brock got going again and finished 5th. After you see that hit, and you're like, "Oh, okay, he was another DNF." I didn't even realize that he got going again and ends up 5th. Didn't even realize.
He was digging, dude. I'm telling you, he was just ripping that top. He was.
So,
it was fun to watch.
So take back to my other point where I said, well, the next night's foreshadowing. I didn't get to prove it. Well, maybe he did. I didn't fucking know this.
I don't think the broadcast showed it, but yeah, he was digging.
Yeah, nothing, not at all. And I even probably watched the rundown and I didn't realize it and put it all together. So that's got to be promising for Brock. Big weekend coming up. Sounds like we'll get into that, but big weekend coming up. If he's got speed and feels good, man, you never know. If they turn the corner, maybe if they found something, I don't know. Troy Wagaman is somehow a magician. I want to see that car. I want to see how much shit was scratched because there's no freaking way that thing came out of there unscathed completely. I want to know where are the scratches, where are the dents, where are the dings, because it's impossible where he's some sort of shapeshifter. I don't. It does, like the camera, you can't even make sense of it. You're like, ain't nobody come through the middle of that. Literally the middle of that pile up while there's a car off the top rope landing on other cars in front of it. It doesn't like Spithaler. the ride Spithauler took and landed on Austin Bishop. Thankfully, Austin Bishop wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
But watch where that car lands and how it flips over top of those other cars while they're already sitting still, and somehow like leapfrogging. It's insanity. Man, yeah, like not. I can't imagine being there. Like what you went through as a fan. Like what the hell is happening?
Yeah,
here?
it was
'Cause
nuts. It
that's
felt
got
like
to
a
be one
fever
of the
dream at times.
weirder. Yeah, one of the weirder events ever. Anyway, um, yeah, but congrats to Jay Karkland. I just like I said earlier, this is 410 racing in Central Pennsylvania. You get a win, you enjoy your win.
Mhm.
Look, ain't a person in this field or any other field this weekend that's never made a mistake or is never going to be perfect. Uh, I knew Jake feels terrible about how it went down and what happened, and it was just a kind of a bad circumstance, to be honest. And I said this to other people. This is not the first time we've seen a start have chaos
Yeah.
at Port Royal. It just isn't. The way that place is, you would think it'd be easy. It's wide, come down off the hill, whatever. Didn't we see, was that Halligan a couple of years ago in the start of a race at the front on the front row?
Yeah.
And it wadded up a whole bunch of cars, right? Halligan and somebody else, I want to say.
Linton Jeffrey.
Mhm.
Yes, right? Linton
Mhm.
Jeffrey. So like this isn't the first time we've seen this happen at Port Royal. And they want to get going, they want to get down the front stretch. You want to be the first one into turn one. It happens. Shitty circumstance, hated for all these other cars in the field. And there was you know, I think if you interviewed all the people that ended up getting caught up in it, I don't think anybody's going to MF somebody about it. Yeah, there's going to be people upset. There's a lot of money invested. There's time
Yeah.
and, whatever. And, you go up there and you don't get a chance to prove what you had. But there is a person in the field who hasn't made a mistake. And it is what it is. And I just think it was a bad spot. It happens. Shit goes on. This guy still went. And when I watched in that replay, I watched Ryan Smith all over him in this race.
Mhm.
The 69K is all over him.
Yeah.
He held him off. He held off all challenges after it. Doesn't matter who it is. This guy won a 410 race. Congratulations, Jake Karkland. Congrats, Doug Hamaker. He's not going to apologize for finishing second, is he? He ain't going
No.
to feel bad about it. What happened? Second place. AJ Flick, first night out in the car. He kind of said, "Hey, I didn't feel great, but I'll take a damn third," the way it went. So Troy Wagaman, again, a magician, somehow 11th to 4th. Maybe didn't pass a car the whole night. I don't even know.
No, he had
but
to
this
pass a couple.
But like Troy Wagaman, though, the other thing, apparently he's only allowed to go quick time when it doesn't count. Don't know what's up with that. This freaking guy. But yeah, what a wild circumstance. I hate that there were so many cars torn up. Just shitty. A lot of these cars, a lot of these guys, like Austin Bishop, Cody Lehman, JT Ferry, Mike Thompson. There's not a lot of equipment back in the shops potentially. It's
Mhm.
just shit. Garrett Bard, he took a big ride in the
Yeah, he
heat.
did. Yeah.
They're going to be out for a little bit, right? So, just that's shitty. You hate it. Yeah, it's part of racing. Just kind of wild. But congratulations, Jay Karkland, career win number 1.
One person I want to give a shout out to too was Derek Houck in that 12J. He was actually leading for a little bit after the chaos, and then something happened and broke and had to pull off. So who knows what could have been there as well. Brian, what were your thoughts?
Karkland, obviously it's a mistake. Like, I just don't understand all the comments. Again, like I said on the Lincoln post, it's about what t-shirt you wear, and all the comments are, he wrecked half the field. It's easy to win when you wreck them all. First of all, he held off 69K. It's not easy to beat the 69K anywhere, nonetheless, Port Royal. Second of all, he made a mistake, and in my opinion, saying he wrecked half the field is he ran somebody over. I mean, he got sideways in front of Brock. Wagner hooked Brock, and then just all hell broke loose from there. It was obviously nothing intentional. It was a mistake, and I'm sure some teams are fired up about it. But
It's just a bad situation.
yeah, if you're
fans of those teams are more fired up about it than the teams.
Yeah.
Other than, hey, I don't want my shit wrecked.
Yeah.
But they're not like attacking Jake. It's the fans of those
Yep.
drivers. It's social media again.
Well, yeah, if you
Sucks.
are worried about your driver getting his shit tore up from somebody else, this is the wrong sport for you, because it's going to happen at some point. And it wasn't a malicious move. It was a simple mistake. 2 inexperienced guys on the on the front row of features, and it's just calamity happened. I did talk to Troy yesterday and asked him what he saw, and he said it when he came off turn 4, there was 3 cars. I know he said Brock, Chase, and somebody else, and they were in the air in front of him. And he kind of just, I think he said he locked up the brakes. And when he did that, JT Ferry hit him from behind, which turned him sideways. He saw a hole and he throttled it up, got through there, and then the hole closed and JT got whacked. So there was something up above watching Troy in that. I don't know what it was, but my wife, she didn't stay for the 358 feature at Lincoln. She wanted Taco Bell. So she took my daughter, went up the road to Taco Bell. And for anyone that doesn't know, I live pretty close to Lincoln. So she just swung by, picked me up. As soon as she picked me up, I have the feature on my phone. And I said, as soon as they took the green, I was like, oh shit, there's a big crash. I'm like, damn it, Troy's in it. He just disappeared. And then he comes sneaking out. I'm like, he made it through. I don't know what happened. He's through it. And I'm like, I thought for sure he'd had a flat tire or something. And I think besides JT hitting him in the rear bumper, I don't think anybody touched him. And that was insane. I cropped a couple of pictures together of about 3 seconds apart where he's just up there and you see a little bit of orange on the top wing behind a massive pile of cars. And then he's just snuck through on the bottom. So an insane amount of luck. Anybody that made it through that was luck. I know Ryan Smith, like you said, he was all over Karkland there for a while. I know he pulled in. I think they had a clod of mud go through the radiator that seemed like quite a few guys had. Corey Thornton, I saw one of the times he was getting lapped. He went into turn 1. There was just fluid dumping out behind him. I assume it was the same situation. Troy posted something on his Snap story of just clods of mud that just blew through the front of the car. So I don't know what's going on up at Port Royal this year, but it's not the Port Royal we're used to, and I hope they get it figured out. They pushed out for hot laps. I think the 305s were first on Saturday, and I was watching on Flow. And coming off turn 4, I was like, well, surely the late models or something had already been on the track because it was like smooth, and then it was just like chewed up through the middle, and then it was smooth up top. Surely something's already hot lapped, and nope, it was the first set of 305s, first thing to hit the track all night, and it looked like they were like getting ready for a B main. I don't know what's going on there. It's sucks for the teams that it's just, like Ryan Smith loses a second place or a win because of a track issue. Yeah. And quite a few guys had that problem.
They were working on the middle of the track, right where it's been peeling up. They were working on that when they were running it in. They had the heavy equipment out there. They were trying to get it. So maybe it's just too soft there from the weather. It was.
I'm sure it's not.
It was pretty wind, like it was breezy all day, and then right before, obviously the feature. I mean, I think TJ Stutz almost went out of the park in 3 and 4 because
that was bad.
Just a huge gust of wind as the storm was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Not much. I mean, but it was just like it wasn't crazy windy, like because it was comfortable. I was out in shorts and a t-shirt and everything, but it was breezy enough that it was just blowing all the dry shit out. It was gone. So. Yeah, I don't know. Weather conditions had to do something with it, but I agree, something going on there.
When they restarted and camera was on, I think Troy was running 4th or 5th, and the camera had him going to turn 3, and it looked like an iRacing incident where the right front just fell off, and it was just him in a hole in the middle of the corner. So obviously it's not, not what Port wants out there, but I certainly hope they get it figured out because first 2 races this year haven't been great races, and that's just not what you expect from Port Royal. They're typically the mecca of this area, and so far it's just not been great. So I'm sure I hope they get it turned around.
I'll say this. I think last year I was up here for this race, early 305 race, and I was kind of had the same thought leaving. I just think it's this early season thing for them that it's just not sort of what Lincoln went through a little bit, where it was that super muddy, rutted, then it was super dry, and it was just like, got to get this consistent weather, a little bit of heat. Got to get they get into a rhythm. I think because the surface, there's only so much they can do, right? You got a track that is a big half mile. It's a lot of surface to prep. You got cars that where they turn in the corner, it's a lot of pressure on that clay and the rolling up and the ruts. And it was similar last year at the beginning where I was just like, this is odd. It was a huge rut. And then at the very bottom, it was super dry slick. It looked like a whole patch of entry to 1 last year. 305s would hit it. And it was just this cloud of dust, and there were other parts of the track were muddy. It was just this weird, like patchy, ruddy, bumpy thing going on. And then as the year went on, it just seemed to be okay. So I don't know. It might just be, listen, they're up there pretty far north, and it's just like a different climate up there. So like, sounds crazy, but there could just be some. It's early for them, right? It's almost like the rest of the country that hasn't started racing yet because it's too cold, it's too whatever. Port Royal kind of is a little bit of that. So, where Lincoln, they're almost the Maryland line, it's pretty different in a sense. So I don't know. I think they'll be fine. I know they have made changes to a little bit of the track prep crew, but that was beginning of last year. So unless they change it again this year, I don't know. I haven't been up, but I think it'll be okay. Just tough first 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully, the weather is going to be weird this week. I mean, obviously it's freezing cold right now, and we have freeze warnings and shit for the next couple days, and then it's going to be 70 and decent on Friday and Saturday. It looks like, crossing our fingers, bulletproof foreshadowing here when we start talking about this weekend. But we'll see what they're able to do throughout the week and get the track ready for Saturday. But the top was pretty fast at the end. Some of the guys that were fast were able to run the top. Karkland was definitely doing it, obviously, until his motor was going, and then Zierfoss was pinned up there. It wasn't quite on the wall, but it was like kind of like, hey, at least it was starting to widen out, but it is too choppy in some spots, so hopefully they get it fixed out. Any other closing thought? Doug Hammaker, awesome. He was quick time in all the time trials. So he was fast all night. And if he has those last 2 laps there, who knows if he gets Karkland. Obviously, I think he does get Karkland because Karkland was blown up at the end, but he was definitely fast. So, but shout out to Jake Karkland getting that first win. And people need to calm down on social media. That's all I'm gonna say there.
Go ahead, Ryan.
No, go ahead. I'm completely something different.
Well, last thought here was car counts and what you talked about earlier, and I just want to briefly touch on this. Look at the fields here, and look at the fields at Lincoln. I don't know if I should be concerned or not when some of the semi-touring starts and Danny goes or Macri's back to healthy and leaves. Look at this. Joey's not going to be around all year.
Right.
Logan McCandless won't be around all year. You don't know about Corey Thornton. Cassidy's not full time. Spithaler. Take 4 or 5 out of this field. What do you got? Go to Lincoln's field. Take probably 3 out of that field. Should we be concerned? Is there a little bit of concern?
I mean,
other than, and then Macri's out now for an indefinite amount of time. We don't know. So, like that Lincoln field, Steven Snyder Jr. We don't know if Tim Gladfelder runs all year. A couple of those kind of cars. I don't know. I really thought Lincoln would get 20 to 24, and I thought Port Royal would have 32. To be honest, now this weekend.
This weekend's going to be
what
different
this
story.
Looks like. This weekend, a little bit different story, but as we get into let's say June and it's weekly everywhere, I'm cautiously pessimistic. That's the opposite of what most people use that as. But man, I don't know if I am in love with what I see a little bit here. So Ryan, go ahead. I knew you were going to be a little bit off topic on topic. Right. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, there was a couple guys that I think that were noticeably absent. Obviously, Cody Hartlob, and I think he's more just committed to the series. So he was one of them. And/or time trials. Mark Smith wasn't there in the Keen car. That was normally a normal port car too, as well. There was a couple, but yeah, I agree. I think you're gonna struggle to have full fields, especially when they split.
Well, I'll get to my other point, but looking at the schedule here, the next time that they race against each other is, it looks like May 5th.
Yeah, it's not too many.
No, not May 5th. May 2nd, Lincoln and Port race against each other, and then it's another month to June 6th. So it's we're not really going to see this much this year, and I don't know. It kind of seems like we have the same discussion every year of, oh, this guy came from out of state and he was here for this weekend, so what if we lose him? It's kind of just always seems to figure it out. You're going to have your 6 or so guys that run the whole season, and everyone else just kind of comes and goes, or guys from different areas. the weekend ahead, looking like a lot of big names coming in. And the Posse Series kind of is going to help with that diluting of car counts, where you'll have one track with 32 versus two tracks with 22, and some guys stay home. So I don't know. Until we actually see car counts being lower, then that's when I'll worry about it.
I think those are two other names that were not out this weekend. Justin Whittle, I was a little surprised not being out, and then no Dylan Cisney either. So those are two guys that would have been at Port as well. I think you probably
Macri.
see Mac. I mean, obviously Macri, yeah. So I mean, I think we're going to see our biggest car counts of the year on Saturday, as long as the weather and everything holds, because you have the high limit guys that are going to be in the area. We know a couple of them probably that are going to run 35 probably on Saturday. We'll see. So, yeah, it's a little concerning. It's something to keep an eye on. Point standings here at Port, it's only 2 races, but TJ Stutz has the early lead over Brock Searfoss, Buddy Schweibens, Troy Wagman, Chase Dietrich, Karkland, Lance DeWeese, Ryan Smith, Logan Wagner, and Mikey Thompson top 10. All right, let's get to this weekend. Oh, wait, let's get the BAPS real quick on Saturday night.
One more thing. I saw Lance didn't even take the green Saturday. Do we know what happened? So it looked like from your rundown there, he was supposed to start 21st and then just didn't even take the green.
Yeah, he pulled off in the heat, and then he was out pacing, and then he pulled off right before they were double file, and then he pulled into the, so not exactly sure what happened there. More mechanical.
Yeah, it seems like every night so far this year they've had something.
Yeah, it was the same thing when he was in the 12 too. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just a comfort trying to figure the thing, and then no need to push it this early in the season. You know what I mean? Maybe later in the season when the bigger money races are. Yes, hopefully. BAPS on Saturday, Jay-Z, that's where you were at. Some drama there, it seems like, but Scott Dell won the Sportsman feature again. David Dietz won the Extreme Stocks feature after the top 2 got disqualified. Colby Fry, did you say it was his first time in a limited late model? Like that night?
No, in this car.
Or in that car?
No, just another car. You just, hey, the owner called and said, "You want to drive my car?" And he goes and wins in it.
Goes and wins. Really impressive. And then Andrew Ricketts wins the limited stock feature. Just give us a quick rundown of what happened in BAPS on Saturday. Some things that you saw.
A couple things. Scott Dellinger, 2 for 2. He was good last year, won a lot of races, just on his game right now. Car's fast. We talked about the issues, week 1 with the Sportsman, with, Edkin and Gutshall. And, as fate would have it, the heat race had 2 Edkins and Gutshall in the same heat, of course. Chase, great start, down the backstretch, 3 wide between both Edkins, a sandwich, and drove down into the middle. Johnny backed out into 3. So Chase and Kenny side by side in 3. They make contact. They both spin out. This time Chase is on the inside, makes contact with Kenny, I'd say, in my opinion, the way I saw it. They each have their version of this. But at the end of the day, car on the inside takes care of the car on the outside. They're more in control of the fate than anything, in my opinion. Racing incident, very similar to the week before with Kenny. Racing incident, got into Chase. They wreck. Things happen. This time, I think, it's lap 1 of the heat. You're both going to end up in a redraw. I think could have been avoided. In my honest opinion, watching it, it's lap 1, turn 3 of lap 1, and it could have been avoided. Chase had a hell of a run though. Thought he could take the shot. They both wreck, and they're both out of the heat. They both started at the back of the heat. So, just didn't love it. Just didn't need to happen. Could have been avoided. Shouldn't have happened. Hate everything about it. Scott Dellinger's not. He probably is. That sly cat smile. Like the evil cat in the corner of the room, going, "Hey, you idiots! I'm going to take another one," and did. Kenny got from 16th to 2nd in the feature. So he had a really fast car. David Dietz wins the Extreme Stock feature after finishing third by a lot, by the way. Like, no knock on David Dietz. You got to be there, I guess, if you're going to have the first two DQ. You got to be third. But the top two were straight away seemed like ahead of third place. These Faust, Evan Faust, I want to say, and Brian Walls were just the class of the field. And they put on a great show, to be honest. It was fun to watch. Gave them both props in victory lane. They were giving each other props, and then they cheated, both of them, for the same thing. Like, of course, I don't know what it is with that division. Decades of it, it's always something in that division, and I think it's partially because these are like race cars, at stock cars. Like, they're not a purpose built late model frame. Like they're yeah. Anyway, David Dietz gets the win, so shout out to him. Pretty cool. He used to race, took some time off. I'm learning his story a little bit. Pretty cool. Good looking race car. Colby Fry. And I think I told Jimmy, we talked in kind of our chat, I want to get Colby on the show sometime. I'm just kind of getting to know this guy a little bit, but I've seen him win in his own late model, 3 different late models. I think I've seen him win in now in limiteds, and I've seen him win in a modified. I don't know much about this guy, but every time I see this guy, he's like battling for wins or winning races at BAPS. I don't like. Is this guy not a like? Again, shame on me, maybe, but like, do y'all know the history of Colby Fry? Because all I do is see this guy freaking win. Like, is this a name I should have on my radar that this guy just wins every time he gets in a race car? Or Ryan, do you know a history background here?
No, I just know I went to Port Royal maybe 2 years ago with Troy and Dakota. We went up there once for a night that Lincoln rained out and the supers were racing, and everyone was rolling the bottom, and Colby was ripping the fence, and he got a fan out of us 3 that night. I've loved him ever since. I couldn't tell you the first thing about the guy.
Like, I'm like, this guy's fast. He jumped in this 000 car that I see. It's not like junk. I mean, it ran okay. He gets in it. He's battling for a heat race win, drives to the front, drives away with a late. I don't know. He gets out. And he's like, "Yeah, my arms are tired. This one steers harder than my car." And the owner called me that my car is the car he hopped in and won in the other week isn't. He doesn't own it, and he won. I don't even know, whatever, or some bullshit. And like, they weren't available. They weren't available. This guy called me, and I said, "Sure, I'll drive your race car," and goes out and wins in it. Like, brother. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, so I want to get to know this guy a little bit more into history, because every time I see him, he's winning in something. And then this Andrew Ricketts, these limited stocks, this thing, I wish I'd have sent you the pictures to show you this thing. It was the nicest limited stock I may have ever seen. I mean, it is a race car. Like, it's a Civic, I think, or Chevy. I don't even know what it was, but it looks fabricated and like shimmering paint, really no wrap on it. It changed colors in the sun. It had like a freaking racing shifter in it, like gauge it, like wild. I'm like, this is not a freaking limited stock, but I'm telling you what, this thing was a freaking rocket ship. Like, down the straightaways, it looked like an extreme stock, like with a big motor in it. This thing was ripping. Gets the win. But there was another car, the 516 ran second, and it was this black with teal numbers. Like, didn't even make it through the heat, looked really, really slow, came out and feature, drove through the field and ran this guy down at the end. And it was just fast too. So I was entertained. This guy I thought was going to run away with it by a half lap. So here's the best part. We get to victory lane, and I was like, "Crew," like, I'm doing the photography thing, and I'm like, "Crew," and he's like, "No, it's just me. I'm the only person here. I don't have any family or crew or any." There was nobody. So these random fans that were kind of left in victory lane just went in and got a picture with him. They didn't know who he was. We didn't know who he was. They just got in there and got a picture with him. He didn't have. They were literally drove there himself. Nobody. Nothing. Empty. I was like,
No
this
way.
is racing. This felt like, I'm like, this is what racers do. It was cool.
You posted the one picture, a Tesla pulling one, which is insane. Yeah, that's something you see every day.
So apparently this isn't like the first time, or the folks that knew this guy, and I've heard the name, like, apparently he's known for doing some crazy shit, like just show up to the racetrack with crazy combos or doing things that people were just kind of shake their head and go, yeah, that's him. That's what he does. The other one was this gigantic RV showed up. Like you go
Yeah.
take across the country with this giant black racing trailer and backs out this limited stock. And I'm like, it's like $350,000-$400,000 in equipment, and they rolled a neon out of the back of it. And I was like, brother, like, hey, good for you, man. Like you spend your money however you want to spend your money. It was a cool car, but I
If I
was
had
like,
the
this has got to
money,
be a late model, right? Somebody traveled and like bringing a late model. No,
nope.
no.
I wouldn't tell
If I had the
anybody
money,
if I won the lottery, but there would be
but you would
signs.
know. Yeah, you would know.
Yeah,
That
that
would
would be
yeah,
me.
that would absolutely be something that I would do. Would be get a big home and then probably like just go get a 4-cylinder to go around when I'm bored. Like
The
that's
trailways
just
open back
awesome.
up.
A lot of people in here. Superfly, Kobe Fry, Dirt Track Ant said, I remember seeing him race around Lincoln around 2008. Matt Bird says his dad Kobe is a legend. So there's a little bit of lore for you on Kobe Fry. Alex Rapids said he's won
And
in
I've heard
Supers,
the
Limiteds,
nickname.
and Modifieds.
Yeah. And like I've heard people say Superfly, Kobe Fry, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
same.
you would think there would be lore of like a Rick Eckert or, a Greg Satterley or, a name that you go around anywhere and go, yeah, I know that they've won a lot of races. They're really good. But I've been around this long enough where even in, this division, I'm like, okay, Lane Snook, right? 17 wins or, somebody's beating up on the limited division. And like, I don't know. Every time I see this guy, he's winning a freaking race or wrecking on the way to the win or something broke winning. Like, how does he ever lose? Has he ever lost a race? I don't know. I just feel like way maybe underappreciated or under
Underappreciated.
news. Like more people need to know maybe, that aren't in that circle in that world. The rest of us all need to know about this guy, right? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. I don't know hell, who knows? I don't even know what runs at BAPS this weekend. Maybe I'll see him in a legend or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. Get weekend here.
Let's go.
We got a 4-race 3-day weekend, just sprint cars. Friday night, we got the Battle of the Groves. We got Williams Grove, Arch Night, and 25, 410s and 358 sprints. 7 p.m. $20 to get in on Dirt Vision. Sealands Grove Speedway. I don't know if you guys knew this. It is 410 on Friday. So it makes sense that we have 2 410 races somewhere. Opening night for Sealands Grove 410 and super late models on Friday night as well. That one's anywhere, so you have to go to the track to see it. So interesting. They don't have too many of these nights. I think 2 or 3 where they go against each other, and so it'll be interesting to count. I know Williams Grove has never happened. They do this, but whatever. We see what happens. Last year when the weather was nice and all things were equal, both got decent car counts and both had good races, and the 48 won 3 features in a matter of 15 minutes at both tracks. So we'll see what happens this time. And then Saturday, Port Royal Speedway, the 3rd round of the PA Posse 410 series. Lincoln will be dark on Saturday, 4 to 410s at Port Royal, who will also have the super late models. So 410 super late models back to back Friday and Saturday. 6 p.m. start time at Port. They will have full trials, not group time trials, on Saturday, it looks like. And it'll also be on floor racing. Then we're not done. BAPS Sunday, 410s and 358 modifieds. That'll be on PA Posse TV. Racing starts at 5. I believe it's $25 to get in. Yeah, it is $20 to get in. Did double check that. So 4 races, 3 nights, plus BAPS was running their regular program on Saturday night. I think they have like limiteds and extreme stocks or something like that. I can't remember, but they do run. Plus they have supposed to have open practice on Wednesday. I don't know if they will with the weather being as cold as it is, but so busy week at BAPS, busy week for you, Jay-Z. There.
Yeah, that's Saturday's my birthday, so I'll get to watch Legends on my birthday, man. I'm hyped.
Friday 410 is local legend Richard Lupo's birthday, because of course he would be born on 410.
And Matthew Bird, by the way. Lupo, Bird, same.
Same thing.
Bird, yeah. Matthew Bird, legend. Yeah, I will be my personal. I'll probably go to Selinsgrove Friday, Port Royal Saturday. Up in the air on BAPS, probably not BAPS. I'll probably order it on PA Posse TV. We'll see what happens there, but I'm excited for it. I'm hoping it's the Friday split. I could see 16-18 at Williams Grove and then 22-24 at Williams Grove Friday night. Granted, the weather stays nice. And then I'm on full field for late models, both Selinsgrove and Port Royal. Late models put on a good show at Selinsgrove, so I'm excited. I'm really excited for this weekend. Excited. It's always it's always nice when I know about 20 minutes to the track, but just excited in general. So, what are you guys excited for this weekend? Other than Jay-Z's birthday, I guess, on Saturday.
Ryan, go ahead.
Excited to maybe not work for once, and I go up to Port Royal and I'll go up to Port Royal and actually enjoy myself, not have to rush home to get up at 4 a.m. on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, I'll be at the Grove for sure, probably Port and probably BAPS. I mean, just kind of looking forward to seeing some more traditional nighttime racing. Kind of wore out from these draw shows, daytime, you know, fast tracks or one lane tracks, I should say. But just kind of wore out from it. Ready to see some traditional racing here where guys can control their own destiny a little bit more, especially when you have someone who draws pills as bad as Troy does.
So I think the car counts are going to be better than even you think, because from what I'm hearing, there are going to be some invaders, and I think it's going to help support. I
Right.
think this week, you should have. I'm even hearing Kerry Madsen, maybe.
He's here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Tanner Holmes. We know.
Mhm.
Do we see a Brent Marks at Port Royal Saturday?
Maybe.
Do we see him at Selinsgrove Friday? Because he likes Selinsgrove. Not to say that Williams Grove wouldn't, but he likes Selinsgrove. I don't know what the payout is.
Mhm.
Do we see a car like that? I think the Friday night thing is going to be good this week. I think this will be a good for both deals, the time of the year, the circumstances, the traveling, the whatever. We already know Chase Dietz, Danny Dietrich, and Brock Zierfoss are all going to Selinsgrove Friday night. That's from what I've gathered, at least those three big names. So we'll see how it kind of shakes out elsewhere. 358s are racing for a lot of money Friday night, so that's pretty cool. 358s might get 2 shows in by the middle of April this year. Good for them, right? Took
Wow.
till, I don't know, July for that last year. So that's cool. Port Royal, I expect, like you said, a huge car count. I think if these teams that are in town aren't in love with the Friday night options, I think Port Royal, everyone is like has a reason, right? No matter who you are, there's a reason for you to make it make sense Saturday with time trials. And can you confirm for me Sunday's 358 mods or 358 mods, not the 602 crates?
It's
Because
58 mods, yeah.
that's pretty cool.
My race pass.
That's a cool show. Yeah. 358 mods around that place is pretty fun. Nothing against the 602 mods, but it's frustrating sometimes. But the 358 mods are fun to watch there. I always enjoy that show for mods. But
That's usually they
and Sunday
usually
can be
don't
good
come
car
around
counts.
until yeah, for sure. 358 mods usually don't run at BAPS until usually like the final showdown, if I remember right. Like I don't remember them
I think it's
going
changed
earlier.
over the years. Like there was one a couple years ago. Like I remember Billy Pouch being there, and I feel like it was
Yep.
warm-ish. So I don't remember exactly. But like I think Port Royal and BAPS could have some big car counts. I think it's that time of the year. It's getting warmer. BAPS we know is is timed hot laps, right? So it's like it's not the randomness of the draw stuff. So man, I think there could be some great racing this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to do 3 nights this week. I know Saturday and Sunday is going to be a lot as it is. I don't know what I'm doing Friday. Maybe I might take the day off. I don't want to. It's gonna be a long ass weekend, and BAPS having 2 shows that I have to get that
Yeah,
work
back
done
to back.
for.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like it's not so much playtime. There's some things there, so we'll see. I don't know. It's early in the year. I'll just keep going until I can't. Maybe I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, for
Santos is
Port, I've heard
thinking,
that pretty much all the high limit guys, like, minus like Rico and Reitzel, like your big names are here this weekend. I know for a fact Madsen's here. Holmes said he's running. Probably Brent. I don't know about
Brenham
Thorson. I'd be
Crouch.
surprised if Crouch from the area. I'd be surprised if Thorson drove all that way, but I've heard there's going to be a lot of them. So
Yeah, you could see 40 on Saturday night if you get enough of these outsiders coming in. Now, I do believe the All-Star Circuit of Champions, I saw Alex in here before, they also start this weekend, I think, at Attica or Fremont, one of the two. They start
usually
at.
Attica's. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Attica. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
So, like a Brandon Spithaler probably won't be out here again. You know what I mean? So, but Selzy is running. Selzy's gonna. I would imagine Tyler Courtney would out then.
Man,
You know what I mean?
This is just turning into a Weikert tune-up. I mean, the
Yeah.
timing of it,
And
the
yeah,
weather, the time
it's
trials. It feels very much like, hey, we have a chance to get here before the Weikert. Let's go.
so yeah, huge Saturday. This is going to be big Saturday at Port Royal. With some of this competition coming in, getting true time trials, our first true time trial race of the year, and it's a Posse Series race, so you're going to have everybody in the area that pretty much all focused there, and I think it's a good example of what this series can bring. You know what I mean? So we'll see how. Hopefully, it's good not only with car counts but fan count as well. So get out there if you've been waiting for a race so far this season. It looks like good weather. You're gonna get good cars there worth the money, $25. I'll get off my soapbox. Yeah, can't see Courtney racing this weekend. I don't know. I just feel because I feel like those two cars are so intertwined, and Courtney's done that before where he's come out. So, but yeah, we'll see. What about are back in action this weekend? Double. So we'll see them back in action on Friday and Saturday, and then why does that keep doing that? And then High Limit is off one more week. They return.
See,
Obviously they're off this week because we're talking about some of them being at Port Royal, but they'll be back in Missouri.
Jimmy,
Next weekend.
Jimmy,
you there, brother?
Can you hear me?
yeah,
Gotcha.
this your internet's been a little sketch tonight. Your video's been a little bit iffy, and then every time you use the graphic things, you're just like cropping out.
I think that's the last page anyway. Luckily,
Yeah. So don't go back. Don't change anything. Okay. Don't change it. The Outlaws, the
Hear me
Spring
now?
Classic, they have normal. Yeah, there
Gotcha.
you are.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
were glitching out there with the graphics on the screen. Your internet, your picture's been a little glitchy tonight without that. So, but there's Outlaw. Did you say that was Spring Classic or whatever? Like normal names? Like, thank God. Two different places, like some normal shit. I forgot the Outlaws were back racing again this week for some reason. I was thinking like even like Shots. Does he end up at Port Royal if that team's based here? But I forgot they were racing. So that would be cool. But no.
Yeah. And maybe you see a couple of the High Limit guys maybe go out that way too, like maybe like a Thorson or something go out there if they race, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
might take a couple away, but either way, I'm excited for this weekend here locally. And I-55 is always a good time for the Outlaws, so get to watch that after. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend. Weather's could be cold the next few days, but it's looking around 70 and dry, for pretty much the whole weekend. Fingers crossed. Maybe a little bit of weather late Friday. I know up this way at least. We might have a little bit of rain like late Friday and the Saturday, but other than that, it looks pretty good. So hopefully it stays that way. Might actually break the camper out for the first time this weekend. I don't know. Drink it and dump it. Before we get to drink it and dump it, one, I want to thank you, Ryan, for coming on. coming on again, being a guest host. I
Yeah, I
also want
appreciate you guys
to
having me. It's a lot of fun to just sit around and shoot the shit with some buddies about racing.
hell yeah. Also want to give a shout out. We have a new sponsor, Karshner Warehouse and Logistics. Shout out for them jumping on board. They're located up in Hazleton. They have, I think, 8 different. If you're looking for warehousing logistics, reach out to them. They're right at where Interstate 80 and 81 meet. They have like 8 different locations. Anything that you need for your logistics or warehousing needs, you can check out Karshner Warehouse and Logistics out of Hazleton. So thanks to them jumping on board with us. Drink it and dump it. You all know the game. Drink it to. Yeah, Ryan got to go first. Drink it to somebody you want to give a shout out to. Dump to somebody that maybe had a bad weekend, needs a little bit cheering up.
So I wrote a few things down. I did kind of like a 410, like well-known guy that everyone kind of agree with. I had AJ Flick for the drink it, jumps in a new car and gets a podium at the port. Obviously, some circumstances, maybe maybe it wouldn't have been a third place run, but still, I mean, he held off Troy and Brock, and he looked pretty good for the first night out. And hope Mike Walter heals up or gets. I just saw that he's out of the car for medical reasons. I didn't know why, but just hope that everything's all right there and that he gets back soon. But AJ Flick's a good person, a good driver to have behind the wheel, and it's a good opportunity for him, and he made the best of it Saturday. Dylan Norris, you kind of look around, he's got a few podiums this year and just kind of look pretty sporty. Someone that I wanted to point out, I saw him at the test night a couple weeks ago at BAPS. Hunter Fulton, I know Jay-Z touched on it in the 358s. That kid is really fast. And last year he was really fast by himself, but he's learning to race better and around traffic. And just kind of like a name that maybe a lot of people didn't really think about, that he could just deserve a little bit of spotlight. And my last trinket is we got our orange and blue shirts. So we're restocked in every size except 3X for this weekend. So if you've been waiting on an orange Troy Walkerman Jr. shirt or a blue one, only a few blue. We ordered a lot of orange, but only a few blue, and still have some black left over. So we'll have all 3 colors for this weekend at Grove and Port. You guys want to do your drink it or just go in my dump it?
Go right in your dump it.
Okay, my dump it, I have JJ Loss. Looked like he was on his way there for first career win, or would like to see him have a shot at it. Just kind of unfortunate. All the hard crashes for everybody. I mean, like I said earlier, there was a lot of torn up stuff. Steven Snyder, Jordan Strickler, Cole Young, Macri, just to name a few, and then everybody at Port. It was just a bad weekend for that, but luckily almost all of them came out okay. And then my brother said something when it first started. Dump it to Dirt Vision for showing the Macri thing. I know like curiosity kind of gets the best of us and we want to continue to see like what happened. But like I heard that, I was obviously at the track, but I heard that they were showing like when they're supporting Macri's head while the medics are trying to work on him and something. Like that's not what everyone needs to see. Typically you see them cut the cameras away and be too cautious. And this time they just kind of showed a little more than I think that, people needed to watch. So
I agree with you there. In a little bit of their defense, they caught it live as the wreck happened. I mean, they got a great view of it, and it was live. We all saw it live, and it didn't seem like that bad of a wreck. He was moving. You saw Anthony, moving with his hands off. But then when they started jumping up on the tail tank and started removing the wing, they didn't cut off right away, and they should have cut off a little bit sooner. But yeah, I agree. I think it didn't look as nasty as it actually was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it damaged
until we knew the
top
situation after. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was sitting in the grandstands, I honestly maybe just wasn't paying attention. But I didn't know that he was injured for about 5 minutes. I heard him say they were taking the wing off, and I thought maybe it was just to tow it or something. And then I saw the stretcher come out of the ambulance. And I'm like, oh, like we actually have a serious situation on our hands. So dump it to his crash.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't want to drink it to every car that won. So we could sit here forever. We do that, but I just the showing Anthony's thing there, because my dad and my brother both called me the next day like, yeah, we could see the medics holding his head up. I'm like, that just seems a little, probably could have cut the cameras there, but like you said, they called it live and it didn't really look that serious, but when they're kind of noticing that, I feel like the producers Dirt Vision could have noticed it too.
Yeah. Jay-Z?
That's all I got.
Well, man, there's a lot of drinkets. There's a lot of guys that we've had on the show that we're friends with, had a lot of success this weekend. I think I got to go Jake Karkland. Like, first career 410 win. Keep your head up, man. Like, you won a race. Like, just keep your head up. You've been close. The way that night went, you had no business winning that race, but you did. Like you were on fire 25 minutes ago, and like on fire, and you freaking banged up. Like, the fact that you got back in the car, the fact that the car was good enough to actually race to make it. Keep your damn head up. More wins are coming. Shout out to you. Congratulations. I'll just stay with that one because there's so many. I mean, Rumsey back out, Eli Tuckey, Fletcher start. There's a ton of cool, like, fun, awesome things that have been going on. So I'll go with I'll stick with Jake. Dump it, man. There's just as many. The whole pile up at Port Macri, the kid I talked about that destroyed the race car he built for a year. Like, just shitty circumstances. It's just so many, but I'm going to dump it to Mandy Lockman in our chat because she has the nerve to come in here and say Ryan Smith, best T2T host confirmed.
Damn,
Mandy,
I missed that.
2154 timestamp. Listen,
Yep.
dump it to you, Mandy. You're on the list.
Well, then she
ahead,
follows it up with Ryan's drink it or dump it is longer than mine, and that's hard to do. Mandy will write a novel sometimes.
Yeah, I only had a few things.
Mandy.
I had to explain my reasoning.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna drink it and dump it to Jake Karkland. Just what an up and down night for him. More drink it than anything. Shout out on the win. I've been saying for a while, he's shown a lot of speed. He's been impressive at times, and he's been so close, but he's had some bad luck, and he persevered through even some more bad luck and still got a win on Saturday. I think it's, I don't know what his motor situation is. Hopefully it's nothing major. But just such an up and down night for him. It kind of deserves both. I'll also drink it to, I'm going to drink it also to Eli Tuckey. He's been super impressive. I definitely think he's going to be a guy to watch. And then I'm just going to dump it to everybody who had to tore up shit. And Anthony Macri, hopefully he heals up. The posse is better when he's around. It's not something you want to see, especially 2 back injuries in the span of about 6-7 months. Hopefully he can heal up, be back sometime this season. But make sure you're healed up, and get back in when you're comfortable, and we'll see what happens with that 39, but get well soon, Anthony. All right, get to some of you guys as quick. That's a good one. Dump it to Cowboy Jim Kennedy. That dude, we saw him race at Clinton County last year, 91 years old, running 305 still at Clinton County and Bedford almost every week. He started in 1958 racing or something like that. He's raced about 8 different decades.
Race car.
Basically,
he was there for the ribbon cutting of the first race car,
and he raced till the end. You know what I mean? Just insane. What absolute legend.
Showing up to Bedford every week is enough of a feat by itself. Andy May lives in the infield there in Jacksonville.
Santos, drink it to Logan Spar, getting his for a top 5 in the 358 division in his 4th start. Dump it to all the wrecks, especially Macri's. Hope he has a speedy recovery. Honorable mention, as always, to you guys for another great show and to the best merch seller in the game. Thank you, Santos. And for
I got something on that.
Ryan, go ahead.
I got something on that. Not sure what competition of mine tried to nerf my selling spot at Lincoln, but someone plowed through the fence right next to the Barry Skelly novelty stand there in turn 1. Someone plowed their car through the fence on the outside. They had it all caution taped this week. Someone nerfed my selling spot. They destroyed it. Better have it fixed by the time we get back there next. I need my spot back.
Probably one of the rowdy teachers that are out in the parking lot after the races in a lifted truck.
Or is that
probably?
Or is that like the Dewey's T-shirt club? I don't know. Maybe they run that spot.
Yeah.
Mad that I posted up in front of them at BAPS. Damn it.
Jokes, people. Jokes. We got them too.
Yeah, no one said anything Sunday. No one said anything at BAPS, and I wouldn't care if they did. But yeah, I live like half mile from Lincoln, and I didn't even know there was an accident there, and the whole fence is destroyed. They got caution tape up. I'm like, damn. Competition got mad. I had a line at the icebreaker. They had to tear me down.
Didn't know Tiger Woods lived in Abbottstown. God damn.
Oh, come on. There's a golf course right behind Lincoln.
Just saying.
One beer a hole.
Matt
tonight.
Matt Bird, drink it to my birthday on Friday. Happy birthday, Matt. And Ryan as a special guest. Dump it to Macri and his spinal injury. Clayton Myers. What's going on, Clayton? Drink it to the Biglerville Canners at Lincoln. Danny with a win, Eli so close, and Billy with a top 10. Shout out Billy Dietrich. And dump it to another Anthony Macri injury. Get well soon. Dirt Track Ant says drink it to Dawson Walls. Mandy.
Me too.
Mandy says weekend winners in all divisions, especially Steven Snyder Jr. and Jay Karkland. Jaden Wolf and Logan Rumsey back out at the track. Dump it to Mike Walters' medical issues, keeping out of the car. All the torn up race cars this weekend, the Port Royal parking lot. Jordan Strickler, yeah, that's another good one. Definitely dump it to Jordan. Macri's wrecking him, breaking his back again. Hopefully he makes a full recovery. James Magby, drink it to Ryan on the show tonight, and another great show as always. Doug getting his first top 5 in 410s. Dump it to the passing of Flying Cowboy Jim Kennedy. Dump it to all the tore up race cars. Yeah, Doug Hamaker, man. Good night for him. Dump it to Keith Walls hitting the wall head on and turn 4.
That was BAPS. I saw that video on Facebook.
Steph says, didn't get to any races this past weekend, but drink it to the fire safety crews for the fast reaction to clean up after the wrecks. Dump it to Macri and his wreck. Also, prayers he heals quickly. And dump to all the crashes this weekend. Glad everyone was okay for the most part.
Forgot.
Good.
Shout out BAPS and their Easter egg hunt. Over 10,000 Easter eggs there, and that place was crowded with kids, brother. I was there the year before for this. I happened to be there for this, not for the Easter egg hunt, but I was there that day somehow or whatever. The line of kids that came across from the stands for it was a weekly show at BAPS. It's not packed. Place was pretty freaking full for this. It was a show. They had over 10,000 eggs laid out for 3 different age groups. My kids were there. They had a great time. So shout out Donna. I saw her in the chat. She organizes this. She said that was definitely 14,000 eggs.
14,000.
14,000 eggs filled. Not just random plastic eggs thrown out. They all had shit in them. Donations. Her goal next year is 20,000 eggs because it was the biggest turnout she said that they've ever had for it. Super cool event. They did it in the infield during the intermission. Efficient, in, out, kept it moving. It was super cool. Lots of people showed up. It was fun. My kids had a great time. First time they have ever done it. They got to do it. It was funny. There were so many eggs, right? My son was stopped where he was and just shoving eggs in his basket, right? Just filling it up. My daughter's running around looking for all the pink ones. She ran past 200 eggs to pick up 17 pink eggs. I was like, she's all girl, brother. I was like, hey. And then she was like, Luke got more than me. I'm like, yeah, because you ran past half the eggs. You ran past them all. I didn't think she wanted what she wanted, but she also wanted all of them too. And then she's running out the end going, they're gone.
We didn't do Easter egg hunts at the track this weekend, but we had one for my work. And at the very end, all the kids found every Easter egg except there was one, and I found it and I pointed my daughter to it, and this was her staring. She couldn't find the egg. It was green and green grass. And she's just looking around. It's just standing right in front of her. She doesn't understand what an Easter egg hunt is at this point in time.
Not there yet. It gets more fun each year as they go. I've been there. Every year. Next year it'll be a little better. Then it'll be a little better. Yeah, it's fun. That's a fun event. fun to watch them like figure it out. You know what I mean? She's like, "Why are you
Yeah.
so excited about this, Dad? Like, what do you?"
Yep.
the hell
We
is
stood
wrong
there
with
for
you?"
about 30 seconds, and I just put my finger like right on top. I'm like, it's right there. And she's like, "Oh, I got A." That was
That's
funny.
awesome. Tyler Koenig, one more. Drink it. Ashley getting a heat win on Saturday and solid finish, even though she redrew the worst pill. Dump it to Ryan Godown's bad crash at Grandview on Saturday. Third flip for him in the last 2 years. That's hard to do in a modified. I'm going to do an extra
Is
dump.
he the one that
drink
flipped it? Is he the one
But-
that hit the billboards at the indoor race in Atlantic City or Trenton or something? Not Trenton. Or was that
Yeah, I
Andy
know.
J?
I don't know. Tyler.
It was
probably
one of
knows
them. It
about
was one of the names that I actually recognized from that. I know that he hit the bleachers, whatever, and spun back around.
I'm gonna do a Ryan for Danny Pass and Brian Monteith on the Lincoln list over the weekend.
Oh, it's good talking to you
Forgot
guys.
about that.
We will talk to you later.
Thanks for being here, dickheads.
Hey, good for
All
him.
right. Yeah. That's going to be all for us. Ryan, thanks again for joining us. You're welcome back anytime for sure.
I appreciate you guys.
And we got a that was Andy Jano.
Andy J.
Andy J. There you go.
Jan Kowiak or something.
Yeah.
Andy J. I knew it was one of the two names I recognized, and I just guessed wrong.
There you go. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We are out, and we have some great racing